Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the most worn items in my wardrobe, and I know exactly what they are and how many times they've been worn because I do track what I wear every single day. I've been doing that since 2020, so and more than 4 years now. I think I started doing it in the summer. So yeah, every single thing in my wardrobe almost is something that I will know exactly how many times that I've worn it. So yeah, because of that, we're gonna dive into what they are and how they've been holding up. We're just gonna have a little bit of like a general chat. I am filming this on my webcam, and that's because I do need my phone, which is what I've been usually filming with for a while. So I need the phone to, be able to read the things like live. Obviously, to some extent, I know how much I've worn things because I do go and check every once in a while, but sometimes I'm surprised because I haven't gone and looked at an item for a while. So yeah, I wanted to do this live with you and then talk things through. So yeah, just because I get this question so much, even though I also answer it everywhere, I am using the Stylebook app. It looks like this inside. It's a little purple app icon. It costs a little bit up front, and then it's just such a gem to have it. So that's not what it's going to be about, but we are going to talk about what in my wardrobe I have been wearing the most. So this video is probably the most fun for those of you who are invested in my wardrobe to a certain extent. First things first, I'm going to go to the style statistics, then I'm going to go to worn history, most worn, and then I'm going to go from there. So the most worn item in my wardrobe is my Hermes bag. She's actually right here, so you can just say hello. The only thing it has is a little scratch. It actually shows up very, very intensely on camera. It doesn't look that intense in real life. I mean, it still is a scratch. But I actually made that scratch like within a month of having the bag, and I have gone to ask Hermes if there's anything they can do about it, and they say that they can easily fix it, but to do so, they do have to send it to Paris, which can take a couple of months, which, I mean, for that scratch, I just haven't really been able to, or been willing to be without the bag for that amount of time. So, obviously maybe someday, but I have worn the bag 457 days so far. I bought it for $3,250 at the time, or francs, but it's almost the same. So we are just going to speak in dollars, as in American dollars. And that means that so far the bag has cost me just above $7 every time that I've worn it, which, I mean, if you get a significantly cheaper bag and wear it 450 something times, of course you can get the cost where would be way low. But the whole point is that I've been wanting to wear this bag 450 times because it is an Hermes bag. I appreciate it so much. I truly treasure it, and I think it looks good. And then, yeah, I mean, there are something that also goes into it brain-wise, that it is a design bag, or just a bag that I love, at least for me. And of course, it's also at 450 times so far. I will continue to wear it. I remember when I first purchased the bag. Actually, let us turn this into just like a talking session. Let's just ramble on as much as we want to. I know that some of you really like when I make videos like that, so that is what we're gonna do with this one, which only makes sense because if you enjoy this video, you're already pretty much likely invested in my wardrobe. So when I bought it 4 years ago, it was because my partner at the time, his mom had one, she actually had two, but they were so old, and she just always wore those bags. And I think a lot of like her whole style and her relationship to clothes is what sort of like took my like mid-20s style personality, and sort of just like really inspired me to go a different direction with some things to a certain extent. And she did have that bag, and that's how I ended up purchasing it. I actually didn't even know it was an Hermes bag at first. It's not really something I cared about at the time, which you may choose not to believe, but that is the truth. But then I did start caring about brand stuff like that as I was new in Switzerland. I've been in Switzerland a little bit of a while, which also makes sense. But that is the bag I ultimately wanted. So I remember telling myself at the time, wow, like she's had it for this many years. If I buy this bag and I wear it for 10 years, which at the time felt ambitious but doable, because when you're mid-20s, it's like, well, will you want to wear this for that many years? But that is something that I wanted to do. So I bought the bag. Now we're at 4 years, and also yeah, 450 times of wear. And I mean, obviously it just goes up. I love the bag so much. Outside of the scratch that I made myself, it honestly doesn't have any sign of wear at all. Like there's no fraying of anything. There's no seam that has done anything weird. Even like the holes here in the front, they all look exactly as when I bought it. Even like the hardware, I mean, the hardware now inside here is just collecting a little bit of, no, it's not even. Everything just looks great. There's like minimal scratches. I usually don't even look at it this closely. It just looks so good. Even this part, you know, where this is sort of like printed, I suppose, in like the little gold font and stuff like that, all looks so great. This is not a scratch, by the way. This is just a little bit of dirt that I need to clean. And that's also the thing, like, even though I like to buy nice things, I also like to wear them. I don't baby my items. I throw them around. Sometimes I offend people by putting the bag on the ground, but it's my bag to do with as I please. So that is something that I do. One thing I really like about the bag is that it is, I think it's kind of casual for such a nice bag, and also that it's a crossbody bag. Sorry, I mean, I can also wear it as a shoulder bag, but it is meant as like a cross body bag. So that's usually how I wear it, because it's easier to wear it like that. And also, not that I've ever been close to losing the bag ever or anything, but one of the reasons I never even have to think about that is because of how I wear it the vast majority of the time. And then of course the only thing is that the bag doesn't have a closing mechanism, but that is something that so far has worked out for me. I've never had any issues, which you could probably go into more if you wanted to, but I don't. So yeah. Then the next thing on my worn the most list, let's see how much we're gonna get into this actually, but it is the denim, oh sorry, not denim, it is the tote bag from Swiss brand Answa. I really like Answa. I also have a ring. I'm not wearing my rings right now, but I do have a ring from Answa, which is 24 karat gold. I do really love that one as well. Their whole aesthetic, their whole style is it's very old Zurich. If you're from Zurich, you very much know the brand. You will recognize a lot of the pieces around. The tote bags, this is one of the more structured and nicer tote bags, the one that I have. But they do also have like slightly more casual tote bags with like a little bit more design on them. And that's something that a lot of the time you'll see young girls in Zurich wear, but they're still really expensive. They're like 120, like 70 to like $120 from new. But yeah, so that they're really pricey, but it's also sort of like a Zurich thing. Personally, I have the one that I have because I think it looks really great for a tote bag, but I do really like to have a tote bag. It's very well structured, it's very well designed. The one that I had first, because I'm actually on my second one, I'm gonna go check as well how much I've worn the second one, but the first one I ended up wearing it 252 days before retiring it. And I mean, I say retiring it, I still have it at home. It's just because for me, I truly do wear it as a bag, and it is a tote bag, so it is made of canvas, so it does get dirty over time, but like this much wear and like how dirty it got, I mean, it just looked a little bit tired in the end. I could have literally worn it for double the amount of wear and it would still be fine. I just wanted something that looked a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner, and also they have revised the sizes since. So the size of the new one is slightly bigger, which I also really like. But this one ended up with a cost per wear of literally $0.50, so 0.51 francs or dollars, which, I mean, you can get a tote bag for like a fraction of the price of this, wear it, you know, not even maybe half the time of this, and still have a way lower cost per wear. But for me, it's really worth it. I like to say that if my things, and not all of my things will, but if my things hit 1 francs per wear, it was worth it. Especially because I like to get something that is nice. So for me, it's sort of like if I pay something that's a little bit more premium and I can get it to there, I don't even want to like second guess that I got it. I mean, not that's what I'm doing anyway, but yeah. Then I'm just, for the sake of it, I'm gonna go see how much I've worn the new one so far, which was not in top 50, which does surprise me a little bit, I'll be honest. But the new one, yeah, 27 times I've worn the new one. That sort of makes sense. Bought it right before I left for London for almost 3 months. Also been wearing it obviously in London, but I've also been wearing the Hermes bag, and some days I've just worn like a handbag. So that makes sense, and the new one is looking really great. The only thing I will say now, because I feel like I'm starting to open up to just be a little bit more honest about things that usually maybe I have to keep quiet about, because I just don't think there's a point to it. And also I feel like we should be able to talk about the experiences with these brands. And the service in Answa, I mean, I think it's just unfortunately pretty standard for Switzerland. It's not necessarily that great, and it's honestly, I mean, my own experience is just that the service is not that great, which is again pretty standard for Switzerland. So for me, it's nothing out of the ordinary, but just because I know like some of my friends are from Zurich, and some of them have had a lot to do with the brand, or for other reasons, just like they've put a lot of money there and it's like in the registry. And some of the experience that they have told me that they've had with like Answa, I'm like shocked that they would treat someone who spent that much money there like that. So it's a shame, because I do really like the brand. I also feel like I sort of tend to, I think a lot of us are receptive to, or like I can't find the word right now, but we're likely to buy into that a little bit. Like, just like a side story for right now, actually, one of the like really nicer Danish grocery stores is called Irma, or Irma in Danish, and they went bankrupt and they had to close all the stores. And now everyone around are wearing these like Irma tote bags, which they've bought after Irma has went bankrupt, because all of a sudden now that's cool, you know, which I don't fault people for it. Like, we tend to buy into something when it gives off a certain feeling, or it gives us a certain feeling. So that's sort of like how I feel about Answa, but I do find it unfortunate that the service is not that great, because I do have experiences so far with a couple of other Swiss brands, which are also just a little bit more like local, and it's just a different type of thing as compared to when you go into like a big retail store. Like, you know, when you go into H&M, in a lot of places in the world, you may not be treated like that amazingly, which is totally fair, but I just feel like in Switzerland, the service is always just like baseline, not that great. But then in these stores where they are smaller and more like independent stores, they do offer better service, like Lamarelle and Miyake in Zurich. Great brands, which like the service there is so nice. So just because of that, I want to spend more money there, and also make an effort to go in there and just talk about them in a positive manner. And unfortunately, that's not really the case for Answa, honestly. So that is something that, wow, we really go on like a tangent here, but that is just my opinion. And yeah, but I still really love the bag. I love the items that they make. They're a really, really, really great quality so far, is what I've seen. Also, the friends that I have, which have items from there, are they overpriced? I really don't know. They are really high priced, but it just is what it is with the brand. The items are really great, the service a little bit less. So, you know, I'm sure you can also have nice service in there sometimes. So you know what I mean. I don't want to over explain myself. I feel like you can all come to your own conclusions with what I'm saying anyway. Then I have the Vagabond boot. I actually have two pairs on like the top most worn. One of the pairs are worn 219 days, and then another pair is worn 144 days. I do have a third pair as well, but I think I retired them before. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I did wear a third pair before these two as well. So obviously together they really have racked up so much wear. I've loved them. I think we've talked about them so much on the channel. Maybe this is not something we're gonna go into so deep right now, but I have really enjoyed them, especially for the design. The quality, it could probably be better, honestly, for leather boots, but I do think that it is a lot of the time one of those things where like the things that are most accessible, especially to, you know, most young women will just go into like their local department store or go into whatever, and they will end up getting a pair of boots which are just like this kind of like maybe like mid quality, and that is true for me as well for a lot of the time. You know, I am less likely to also go into like some Italian boot shop and get something really lovely, which is certainly also an option. But yeah, I've been wearing these boots for a while. I have loved them so much, but I also recently bought my other boots, the ones from Billy B. I mean, they're brand new, so who knows how they're gonna hold up, but I do think that they look better on day one. They do look a little bit more refined, a little bit more higher quality. The leather is a little bit thicker. The sole just looks a little bit more sturdy. It looks really great, but have really enjoyed these boots. And then after that, 217 days, we have the coat from the Curated. I've had that 4 years now. We talk about this all the time. The only thing I really have to say about it is that it's held up amazingly well. You cannot tell that it's been worn. And with a jacket, you know, 217 days, of course I have things that I've worn as much or a little bit less or like whatever. But a jacket really takes like the blunt force. It takes the brunt, anyway, of like the weather and stuff like that, and it just looks so great. So you literally again cannot tell that it's been worn. It's just like this type of like felted wool and cashmere mix. It's just so sturdy. It's really lovely. And then so far it has cost me $2.10 10 every time that I've worn it. And then of course, as I continue to wear the coat over the next years, it's gonna go down even further, and I am expecting it to still look good as new in the double the amount of wear still, but obviously we will keep up with that. But yeah, I really enjoy it. It's also one of those things where, like, yes, right now it's still low, you know, $2 per wear, but if you get like a low quality something H&M coat, I mean, I suppose most of the people watching this won't be there, but it is something that people tend to do, and it's just never really worth it. And yeah, this is just worth it, I suppose, is what I'm saying. It's not like we have to go into loads more depth about that. But then we do have something next on the list, which I think some of you will be really interested in hearing, because I do get this question or this requested a lot, and that is the Pauline bag. I bought this in, I think, January 2022. What matters is that I've worn it 129 days so far. And yeah, I'm like, oh, that's a little bit less, but that is a lot to wear one bag. But I also, for me, you know, I do have other things that I care about having more of, such as jackets. You know, I mean, I also wear my jackets a lot, but that's where I tend to splurge and buy a lot of different things, where, like, with my bags, I'm just more picky. I'm less like inclined, or like I less feel like I need to have something different or wear something different every time. I just like to have a few nice options. Although I will say, when it comes to bags, I feel like I am ready to have something a little bit different, maybe have something in like a pop of color, but it still has to look really nice, or I don't want it. And I know that because I have every once in a while bought a low quality bag that I thought was nice, like for example in Zara or in Mango, and I never ever treasure them. But at the time I bought this for $270, so now it has a cost per wear of $2.09, which also is really low for a really nice bag. Since then, the bag has become significantly more expensive. I think I got it in last year before they raised the prices, and I've heard rumors that the quality is not as great anymore, but honestly, I don't take it's just a passing thought, so that you know what to do with that if you're listening to this video and you want to do your own research and due diligence, because I don't know if that's actually true. But I bought the bag before the price were raised, and if the quality is the same as when I bought it, then certainly it makes sense for me that they raised the price. I mean, not that it's great. I mean, it would be nice to be able to still buy it for a lower amount, but I do get it. I really appreciated my bag. I think it looks really great, also with my cool toned wardrobe. I mean, that's not something we have to get into so much. It's something that we talk about as well in all other videos. But it's really shapely. It's very much like a shapely bag, and you can't really bend it out of shape, even though sometimes I have, by having it like my carry-on or having it in like a suitcase, and it's never really damaged it or anything like that. The hardware still looks great. I have had like one of the little closing mechanisms opened, which I could have contacted the customer service, but I actually just glued it on myself, which maybe that shouldn't have happened, but I don't know. It didn't really feel like to me that there was like something faulty with the bag. I think I just was a little bit too, I don't know. For whatever reason, I don't feel like I count this as towards something that was like off with the bag, and also because like just doing what I did, like gluing it back together right there, it sort of like took care of it immediately. So that's the only issue I've had with the bag. I can have a lot of stuff in it. The shape can be a little bit awkward, but there's room for my phone, my wallet, and then I have that little pouch with like emergency things such as like bandages, and I always have that with me, with some little like extra things, like a little pouch. I also have that in there. You can have like a passport, you know, lip gloss, your keys, stuff like that. It is something I get asked, but I think it's a really nice sized bag. I mean, like the Hobo bag, the YSL one that I have, the shape is less awkward, but for me, the Pauline bag is totally fine. And also the Hobo bag doesn't close, and the Pauline bag does with a zipper. So that's really nice. It also comes with 2 straps so that you can use it as a crossbody bag or shoulder bag. I tend to use it exclusively as a shoulder bag just because I really like that look for handbags, but you do have the options to do the other thing. Then I have another pair of Vagabond boots, 127 days of wear, the flat ones. I mean, I still wear them. They also are not in good quality, and they are not holding up that well anymore. I did take them to the cobbler the last time I was in London, so like almost a year ago now, and doesn't hold up that well. I still love them dearly, which is what it is. Then I have some old Envy jeans that I don't wear anymore, 123 days. And then we actually have the Burberry trench coat, 107 days. This trench coat, I bought it also, this is one of those things that together with the Hermes bag, I bought right when I started like revamping my wardrobe and I felt like I was really onto something. I got myself a couple of really nice pieces because I was also able to just afford it. So I budgeted for that like that. And then, I mean, I will also say, even though I started buying things, it really wasn't a lot in the beginning. I was being a little bit more like, I was kind of mindful. I mean, obviously, but at the end of the day, it ended up costing me $815. I put here in my notes, I always do that if I need to put something in the notes, $700 for the coat secondhand, then $70 to take the sleeves in at the tailor, $25 for sleeve bands at the tailor, and $20 to put a button back on which had fell off. So it has cost me something to fix it to how I wanted it to be, which is why the price is even higher, and already $700 is pretty high for like a Burberry trench coat, but I bought it in Zurich where everything is overpriced, including vintage, which is why I tend to not really go for vintage a lot of the time in Zurich. And also it was in immaculate quality when I bought it. I've been happy with it, but I will be honest, I think I've been happy with it for the most part because it is a Burberry trench coat. It's a nice trench coat, but I think I could have probably found something that suited me better, but this was really what I wanted at the time. And the cost per wear is right now at $7.6, which is fine. This is not necessarily, I mean, I go between like, do I really sell like a Burberry trench coat that's really nice, or is that something I just keep in my wardrobe forever? I don't really know. I mean, it's not like I'm planning on selling it, but it's not the piece in my wardrobe that I love the most, if I'm being totally honest. I did have the other Burberry trench coat as well, or it was more like a spring coat. That was the one that got stolen in like the party district in Zurich, which I was heartbroken about at the time. That one I also paid a lot to take in at the tailor. It was so oversized when I purchased it, but it's just a reminder that, when you have something you really like and there's something off about it, I've also done that with a Reformation top one, it really is worth it to go to a nice tailor, like just a astute tailor, a competent tailor, and have them fix the little thing that's wrong about it, because that really is the thing that makes your wardrobe obviously tailor-made for you, but it also gives it that sort of like extra whatever if it really feels like things suit you. So I did that with that before it got stolen, but that one I really loved. This one, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Then at 100 days of wear, now we have my black skirt from part 2. Part 2 is a Danish brand. It's funny because I remember having had quite a few things from the brand growing up because, my mom would purchase me things from here. Also as a teenager, I would have a couple of like nice coats or jackets, some basics. I've had a couple of dresses, just one of those brands that every once in a while you have something from there. And then growing into a young adult, you start just, purchasing your own things. So it becomes like H&M, stuff like that. At least it did for me, until I made the changes that I have, and I just needed a black skater skirt at the time, and it just happened to be the one that I got. And I also paid $169 for it, which is a lot for a black skirt, which I was just at a place where like I was willing to pay almost without question. I was willing to pay what it costed me to get the things that I needed if I felt like they were exactly how they were supposed to look. And I really felt that way with this part 2 skirt. So I just ordered so many different skirts. This was the one that ended up really, in my opinion, looking really nice on me. I mean, I still wear it to this day. I think this I also bought in 2020, maybe 21 actually. It's also crazy I haven't worn it more, but then again, like, you don't wear the same thing every day anyway. You cannot tell that it's been worn, and I also think that that's why I bring it up so much on the channel. It's why we talk about it again and again, because it is just a black skirt. It is made from polyester, but for me, it's like the golden standard. It's a testament to, first of all, if things are made well, even if it's polyester, it can still be really comfortable, look really great. It doesn't look like polyester either. Like, the texture of the fabric is extremely nice. It looks really great. The shape is great, but mostly, yeah, the quality is just so nice. And it has, like I just said, I'm just repeating myself, but become the golden standard, so that now, whenever I buy something which is also supposed to be like of pretty nice quality, like for example, I have the also skirt or black skirt, which is more like of an A-line, a little bit tighter with the slit from Another Stories. I think that one I've worn like 50 times now. I also really, really love that skirt, but it does pill. It does have a little bit of like snatches to the fabric. It doesn't look bad per se, but I know how great something like that can look. And it bothers me that then not everything looks that great. Yeah, I really like part 2 as in terms of like quality. Again, like I said, I have had things from there throughout the times, but every once in a while I'll go to in the Danish department store magazine, they have like a section of the brand, but it is, I would say, for maybe a little bit more of like a mature crowd than me. Some of the designs is just, I think it's a little bit outside of my bracket. It's something that also she's the one who purchases, but maybe like my mom would like a little bit more. That's not like to say that I'm just writing off the brand. I still go find stuff there or like look for stuff there every once in a while because of how fond I am of the skirt and the quality. Then a couple more different jeans, another Everlane jeans, 98 days. Then Levi's bootleg jeans, 87 days, which I honestly feel like for Levi's, they did have some stretch to them, but the bootcut jeans, did I say that? Yeah, they just completely ripped. And the same actually with the Everlane jeans. I feel like jeans should be able to last longer than the jeans that I purchased throughout the times have, but yeah, it is what it is. Then I have a pair of like short Converse, 81 days. And then this I think is really, really cool. Then I have the pea coat from And Other Stories. Did I not buy that last winter? I'm actually pretty sure I did at the beginning of last winter. I have worn that 79 days. That is just a testament to the fact that if you really love something, especially if it's something like a jacket or like a bag, you will wear it again and again and again, and it will just like rapidly go down in the cost per wear. This one, I have worn it, 79 days. I bought it for 179 Swiss francs, actually, or dollars, actually in Switzerland, because it was on such a significant sale in And Other Stories, which still to like sort of mine, I find that wild, but it was, and now it's at $2.26 per wear, so $2.25. And obviously this is also one of those things that are just gonna like continue going down in like the cost per wear. It does look really, really great. It does have a little bit of like a cut of polyester to it, but it is not such a big cut. For me, it is really comfortable. It's actually really warm. It's a little bit more windproof than the coats I have from the Curated, which makes sense. I mean, the coats from the Curated, I love them, but they do not like really have a lining. It really is just a shell, which is absolutely beautiful, but sometimes you just need something a little bit different. And for me here, the pea coat comes in, and I also think it looks really, really great. So 79 in like less than a year, which is funny because the next thing on the list has also been worn 79 days, and that is my secondhand Jill Sander blazer. Oh my god, I have treasured this blazer so much. I haven't worn it for a really long time though. You can see here on Stylebook how long it's been since you worn something, and usually it makes sense with like the season, stuff like that. Like for example, I think one of the coats, it said I hadn't worn it for like 121 days, and that's how it goes. I mean, now I'm gonna go back to Switzerland. It's October, so I'm gonna wear it. But this one I haven't worn in 460 days, so that is actually a lot more than a year ago now. Which is funny because like I just treasured it so much, and I think for the type of piece that it is, the fact that I've worn it that many times is kind of impressive. It's a Jill Sander blazer, so it will have cost thousands of dollars from new, but I got it for $171 on Vestiaire. This is also when I was a little bit more willing to really spend so much time looking just for one thing. I mean, I still do that, but it's less like intense. Now I just keep a lookout and then I enjoy my other things. Every once in a while I will get really bothered by having to do that and then buy something that's not perfect. But back then I would spend hours looking for the thing that I wanted. Yeah, it's at $2.16 or $2.16 per wear, which is really nice. It's like a silk, no, it's a Kubra lining and a silk shell. Oh, it's so lovely. I do really love it. It's very like form-fitted, which is also honestly why I haven't worn it in a while. My style is changing a little bit, but this is such a iconic piece. I will never get rid of it, but it's been very appropriate for Zurich and how I've been dressing, or how I was dressing for quite a while. So it made a lot of sense for me. It still looks great. I'm really happy with it, and that's that. Then I have, you guys never see this, so this is funny, but this is an Alexander Wang handbag with the studs. I don't remember what it's called. I'll show a picture of it, but this is like the first designer bag I ever got. I think I got it back in like 2016, and then I wore it for like years. Like I have no clue how many times I've actually worn this bag, but a lot of times. And this was also when I still was wearing silver, so I had silver hardware on my things, and I really treasured this bag. I still have it. I don't think I will ever sell it, just because why would I? Then I have Ray-Bans from the time that I was still counting cost per wear of certain accessories. I've since then stopped doing that because I want to track what I wear, and if I turn it into too much of a chore, then I just don't I won't be doing it every day. I mean, you could say that I should just do that anyway, but this is a great compromise that I found. Then my M by M pants, the black ones, which are made from polyester, you can get them in message in Copenhagen. I should really make like a little Copenhagen like shopping, just like a little shopping like list or some type of like PDF of where to go for what. But my black pants from M by M is, I mean, yeah, the brand is M by M, but like the store you would get them in Copenhagen is called Message. They are polyester. They still have the pants there. They have them in so many different colors as well. I really, really like them. They still look really, really great. No pilling, no snatching of the fabric either. They are getting a little bit worn out just because I bought them a little bit tight. I could have probably gone, I mean, they still fit, but I could have gone maybe a size up and then take in just the waist a little bit. So I actually think that that's why they are wearing out just a little bit, but it's really not a lot. It's just a little bit. You can sense the fabric, certain areas that it's been worn, but still looks really great. I bought them for $109 at the time, worn them 70 times. So they are at $1.55 times of wear, like cost per wear, sorry. Yeah, really love them. I haven't worn them, it says here, for 130 days, which makes sense because, yeah, I'm not going to go through all of this, actually. I think we're just going to... I've already been talking for so long. So, oh my god, is this video too long? Anyway, I have worn them not for a while because I am wearing a lot of the time my gray, whoops, what is that? Dress pants from Envy, which are also polyester, exact same story, like great fabric. You can't tell that it's been worn, but I did have an issue with the zipper, which I talked about in my last video. So I did have to go back and get a new pair, which I did, which is just lucky for me because I had worn the old pair for, I mean, only 37 days. But now I have a new pair, which is sort of interesting that I'm celebrating in a sense because like, yeah, that's nice for me, but that's not at the end of the day, you know, from a sustainability point of view, it is a shame that you have to get a new pair of pants, which are otherwise looking good. Yeah. Then you have this cashmere sweater in black from Uniqlo that I don't have anymore. I lost it. Then here, actually, I've been wearing, I won it 68 days now, the black skirt from Another Stories, the one with the slit. That surprises me a little bit because the other one I've had so much longer. Like in my mind, I've worn the other one a lot more, but this one just been racking up wear on it so quickly. And then another coat from the Curated. There's some Birkenstocks, another coat. The leopard, not leopard denim, sorry, the leopard wool sweater from Ghani is at 51 times of wear, which is one of those things. Again, I've had this since 2020, so I have only worn it like 12 times a year or something like that. Is that true? Times 4. Just please ignore that I'm doing this. But yeah, it's one of those things that I love to wear it every once in a while. So it's nice to also have pieces like that. But honestly, this video is getting so long. I've already gone through like some of the pieces. We've had some really nice talks about them. So I think if you're interested in the next half, or some of you are, I will make it. But for now, maybe it's okay that we stop. It's sort of interesting to see it like this and also just see the coloring of everything, which is on the top 50 of the most worn. And then also to see that, you know, no basics meaning the, you know, the shirts and tops and stuff like that, really tend to ever make it to this list, which is also a testament to the fact that it's really not something to prioritize spending too much money on, but that other things are worth it. So yeah, it's always great to look through these things and see what you can pick up on and what you can learn. So I think that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, I hope you had a cozy time. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up so that I know, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!